Well, hello everyone. My name is Esther Shitu, and my editor Sean Sutner and I are here for a special breaking news edition of AI businesses targeting AI from Informatech Target. Yesterday, Amazon Web Services experienced a major outage that disrupted thousands of websites and services worldwide. I feel like we experienced it here as well. AWS said the disruption was caused by a technical issue in the domain name system or DNS. The issue affected several large language models, including Claude, which is, sponsored by AWS. We're here with David Nicholson, an analyst of the Futurum Group, to discuss this.
Good to be here.
Hi, David. Now that we've sort of recovered from this outage, this big AWS outage, what do we know precisely what caused it, and how did it affect enterprise AI applications across the board?
Yeah, I think in terms of precisely, DNS failures, which then cascaded into databases that support all sorts of things. But more broadly, we've been spoiled by how resilient cloud services are over time. I will channel my inner. I'm gonna pretend to be an AWS person speaking candidly. Hey, we warned every single one of you that this could happen. And there is an option for every single company that was disrupted to never have this happen again. And that is to have multi-site redundancy. It's an age-old solution. It's available. It just costs money. It costs a lot more money to be protected against these things. So there's a solution. It'll be interesting to see how many of the people who are complaining mightily about their experience actually embrace the solution that's always been available.
So, just to follow up really quick though, but to what extent did AI come into this, like AI data centers, other AI data centers that may have depended on AWS, or embedded LLMs in enterprise applications that couldn't work?
No, they were affected, but they were not the cause. So this is independent of any discussion about AI. This is something that has been happening since the dawn of cloud. There's a reason why there are multiple regions, and there's the ability to have multi-site redundancy. 30 years ago, with storage systems, a company like Intel would pay millions and millions and millions of dollars to have things replicated synchronously and asynchronously because the cost of a disruption was massive. So it made sense.
I wonder though, like you mentioned, the LMs were affected, right? You had a lot of people running on Claude specifically. We
Yeah.
have Alicia here, and that like kind of went out. And then you had other LMs. What can enterprises do who are now starting to rely more on LLMs to like prevent this from happening, in the future? Especially because, like you said, yes, you can have redundancy, but what about these LLMs that are running in the background that help their systems?
Yeah. So again, there is no the fact that you couldn't access an LLM, you didn't have that as a service. It's no different than not having a Ring doorbell camera service in the sense of what this means. If you don't want to be caught on a roadside with a flat tire for very long, carry a spare tire. If you're really, really concerned, carry two spare tires. A lot of cars don't come with spare tires now. People have a cell phone and a credit card and they call a tow truck. You're going to wait longer than if you change your own tire. So this is something, whether it's an LLM or a Ring doorbell camera service, you can pay extra and have extra redundancy built into your cloud services. We've just become spoiled, and people forget that.
Okay, I have one thing I just thought of. I'm working on a story about these neo cloud vendors now, GPU as a service. So lots of mini clouds sprouting up everywhere. Maybe not so many. Could this happen to any cloud provider, any hyperscaler or neo cloud provider, or anybody who's depending on racks of GPUs and CPUs?
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. It's not foolproof, and to the extent that those service providers don't have the same level of redundancy that's been built into the global systems of AWS, GCP, and Azure. They call it site-to-site failover, zone failover. They all have different terms for them, but every single one of them has the ability to deliver synchronous and or asynchronous recovery. It's all about recovery point and recovery time objectives. These are old terms that everybody in IT is familiar with. We've just become spoiled with cloud. So yeah, I would say that somebody like a CoreWeave, I would guess that they can't offer the same level of potential resiliency that an AWS or a GCP or an Azure could. So it's not an indictment of any of these cloud providers. Again, it's did you buy the insurance or didn't you?
Got it.
Thank-
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much to our audience and our listeners for watching this special edition of AI Businesses Targeting AI. Thank you, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.